college man. You now go on the field and walk over here.
Absolutely.
So this is the start of over number 2. And that's steered away down towards third man by Akeem Fraser. And did that go into the boundary? I think not. Fraser gets 2. And he goes up to, how many does Akeem have now? I'll tell you in a little bit. He's on 5, and the score now 290. Is that 298? No, that's 297. Fraser plays out into the onside. So Kingston, who resumed this morning on 290. They've added 7 this morning. It's a Senior Cup final, and Akeem Fraser plays forward, and the ball goes back. The score is 293. So yeah, the scoreboard is right. What you're looking at is right. Here is Royal. That's hit on the pad. He was offering no shot. It goes down to that short fine leg position. So Fraser is on 5. Javan Buchanan, the other end, is on 14. Kingston 293 for 7 at the moment. Fraser is driving out towards Medan for a single. Takes him up to 6. And the score now 294 for 7. And that was the second over of the proceedings. One things Kingston just back for an hour here on day 2. Probably looking to get something in the region of 340, 345, 350 maybe. If they don't get pulled out, one would expect to see the St. Catherine team batting probably just after the first water break. Pete Salmon will continue his vigil from the north stand end. And here's he bowls, and Fraser is playing missing. Not covering the line. Ball just going past the bat. This time Fraser is forward again, plays out towards that straightish mid-wicket position. And no run. Fraser is on 6. Let's watch again. Salmon. False start. A lot of work does Salmon. This is his 24th over. And again, can't beat the man Lewis, who is at that catching mid-wicket position. Salmon again. And again, Fraser comes forward. Fraser 6 now from 20 balls, so doesn't seem to be in any real rush. He was trying to hit that through the offside. No contact made. Salmon again. That's down the leg side. That could run all the way down to the fine leg boundary. And let's watch the signal here. It is byes. The wicketkeeper should have done better with that, but it all adds up to the score. 298 now for 7. And Kingston getting closer and closer to that 300 mark. We'll see Buchanan now on strike. Scoreboard. And there you go now, 298 for 7. So it's Royal who will now bowl to Buchanan. Buchanan, who is scoring a little bit more quickly. Oh, it's Harrison batting. Not sure where I got Buchanan from. But Harrison also left-handed. Quite a number of lefties in this Kingston batting lineup. Faces up now to Royal. And opted not to play. It was short coming back into him. Thought of the pull shot for a split second. And then thought the better of it. And that's hit in the air out towards wideish mid-wicket. They take one. They'll be coming back for the second. And getting it easily enough in the end. In fact, that now is the 300 mark. So that's mission accomplished. And you're seeing Buchanan there, but it's really Harris. So we'll make some adjustments. Now I know why I said Buchanan. I was following the screen. But actually it's Harris batting. And he's confidently in behind that and plays it back at the bowler. Javoy Royal, who has been the mainstay of the Kingston, of the St. Catherine attack. One hit on the pad, no real appeal. It was always going to be spinning past leg stump. So Harris it is, facing up to Royal once more. And this time he works it out to mid-wicket but can't score. Here's Royal again. Down the track and hits it out towards deep mid-wicket. Gets a single. Takes it now to 301. There you see him rehearsing. Maybe should have gone a little bit straighter, but the ball spinning into him, taking the inside half and going out to mid-wicket. 301 for 7 is the total. And Harris will come back on strike. He's on 17. So he's scoring a little bit more quickly than Fraser. And it will be Pete Salmon who will continue from the George Headley stand end here in this Senior Cup 2-day final. Kingston 301 for 7. And an extravagant looking drive from Harrison, but didn't get any touch. Here is Salmon. Punched pleasantly up towards the man at cover. Well knocked down, no run. Yeah. I think here is Salmon. That's well played. Really nicely played back towards mid-on. Lewis is in the way. Here's Salmon again. No shot offered. I'm a little bit curious as to Kingston doesn't seem to be overly aggressive at the moment. They're just batting normally. That's driven up to cover for a single. And Harris moves to 18 with that shot. Pleasant drive up towards cover. Kingston team not particularly trying to go too hard, and you wonder what the plan is. Maybe to get to 330 and then take it from there. They're not really batting with any great deal of urgency at the moment. There is Fraser pushing out towards cover again. And that's the end of another Salmon over. And Kingston has to bat are 302 for 7 after resuming this morning on 290 for 7. So the start of another Javo Royal over. So here's Royal now to Harris, who is playing it out towards mid-wicket. For a split second, the fielders thought that it would carry, but it didn't. Here is Royal again, and Harris is working that one square on the leg side, takes a single, goes up to 18. It's now 302 for 3. 302, 303 for 7. Brings Akeem Fraser back on strike. Fraser back on strike is on 6. And as you see, there's a slip and a man at leg slip, also a forward short leg, so he has plenty of company. Here's Royal. Plays forward, ball just dropping short of the man posted in. Short on the onside. Is Royal again. And that's well played. Royal, of course, looking for a fifer. He's taken, he has already taken 5. Yeah, he would have taken that wicket yesterday. So clearly the main bowler for this St. Catherine team. And Fraser again plays forward. I'm a little bemused as to what the plan is, to be honest. It's a 2-day final. You won't lift the trophy unless both teams, or at least the losing team, gets bowled out. So they need as much time as they can to get at St. Catherine. But we're seeing absolutely no urgency from Fraser this morning. Harris is a little bit more aggressive, but it is what it is. It's 303 for 7. Kingston batting. So Salmon will start again. And this time Harris is on strike as he comes round the wicket. And again, perfect defensive shot. Laying back at the pitch, no run. Here's Salmon again. Almost a carbon copy of the previous delivery where Harris just plays forward. Almost a stalemate at the moment. We're not quite sure what the plan is. And no one would have said that ad nauseum. Well, they get a single. And Harris goes up to 20. Brings Fraser back on strike. Taking a little time over the setting of the field, and Salmon will start again, this time to Akeem Fraser. They want a single. This could be tight. I think safely home in the end. And it shows you what can happen when both the batsmen respond immediately. Fraser offered the single. Harris was taking off straight away, and in the end made it easily enough. Fraser now goes up to 7. It's now 305 for 7. Brings Harris back on strike. Now they're sending long on and long off back out of your picture. They probably expect some fireworks from Harrison. Well, he steers that out towards short third man, but can't score. And no run resulting. So Fraser again to Harrison, who is again trying to beat the man at that square position on the offside, deliberately opening the face, but couldn't beat the back they feel are going to his right. End of another Pete Salmon over. And Kingston 305 for 7. They've added 15 this morning in how many overs, Mr. Scorer? Yeah. 7 overs this morning. They've added 15, which means that they're scoring just over 2 an over, which is a little surprising, knowing that you will have to bowl St. Catherine now. And to be scoring at 2 and over is a little odd. Royal to Fraser now. And he's hitting that out towards Medan. He was hitting towards Medaf, but the left arm spinner coming back into him caught the inside half and down towards Medan. And the score continues to trickle along. Brings Harris back on strike. And Medan going back a little deeper. They're also sending mid-wicket a little further back. So they expect Harris at some point to lift off his batting angle, but he doesn't. Steers it nicely on the offside and takes an easy single. Harris goes to 21. 306 for 7. Fraser back on strike here. It's a warm, very sunny day here at Sabina Park. You have to say perfect conditions for cricket. And though we're in a little stalemate at the moment, nothing much happening with either bat or ball, but you expect that at some point St. Catherine will be batting, and you expect a little bit more fireworks then, because I can't see St. Catherine just coming out and doing anything else but trying to win the game. I understand that if there is not a first innings lead here, I'll just check that for sure whether it's a shared trophy or they'll count back to what happened in the preliminaries. We'll have to double check that. That one spins down the leg side. Trophy, I understand, will be shared in case neither team gets a first innings lead here. Here's Royal. Fraser is forward, knocked down by the man at forward short leg. It's a really strange approach. Maybe Kingston are overawed by the powerful batting lineup of St. Catherine and at the moment taking absolutely no chances. It's not making for the most attractive or rational cricket. You would think this is a final. And again, Hakeem Fraser pushes out towards mid-wicket. End of another Javor Royal over. And maybe we need to ask a member of the Kingston management team, what's the plan? We've added 17 this morning in 8 overs, right? So that's 2 and over. And we are hearing from a member of management team that the plan is to bat for an hour and see how many they will get. Let's say at the rate that they're scoring now, just over 2 and over, 15 overs for the hour, you'll get another 30, Mr. Manager. He says that's good enough, so we'll see. 307 for 9. For 7, 307 for 7. It's going to be Pete Salmon again to bowl to Harris from round the wicket. And this time he goes for it. It's in the air. The mid-wicket is under it. And catch taken. Something had to give. They sensed that Harris was going to unleash something. He opened up his arms, trying to hit it over wideish long on. And getting a top edge. The ball spiraling. Never the easiest of catches. And Harris goes back for... Harris got, what, 19? 20? 21. So now it's 307 for 8 with Harris trying to cart someone over wide long on. And it was Romain Bennett who took the catch. Looks simple, but when they go that high, sometimes it does play a little trick with the mind. So Harrison makes his way back. And maybe that shot suggested that the Kingston batting are now prepared to just put down the foot on the pedal a little bit. It's Boris Hutchinson who will make his entrance. The man they call Puta was a tearaway fast bowler in his heyday. Also played first class for CCC when he was maybe 40 pounds lighter. Still bowls at a steady little medium pace. He's known to give it quite a whack as well. So Boris Hutchinson will now take guard. And Pete Salmon will continue. So Sean Grant will take over after this over as Pete Salmon now to bowl to the new batsman, Hutchinson. Didn't play a shot. I'd be surprised if this is allowed. Did it hit the pad? Dead ball. I figured he was pretending to play a shot, really didn't. And the umpire quite rightly signaled, no sir, that will not be allowed. And it's a dead ball. So Salmon will continue to Boris Hutchinson. Salmon, who has taken 2 for 42, has done his fair share of work. They are now putting a man in the leg slip position. They've taken him from backward point. Let's see what Boris Hutchinson will do. Well, that is down the leg side and he's swinging at it. Didn't get a touch. And it's gone for 4 byes. And, I don't know that you could blame the keeper for that. That was really wide down the leg side. The aim clearly is to bowl middle and leg, maybe leg to Boris Hutchinson, which explains the moving of the man from backward point to leg slip. So clearly it's a leg stump line of attack, but that was much too wide down the leg side. Let's see what Salmon does here. Again, leg stump. And clearly they feel that there's something here. So the line of attack is clearly mid and leg. They feel that Boris Hutchinson probably will not resist it if it's in the pads. Salmon bowls, this time a little bit straighter. He's forward, studiously forward, and plays it up on the leg side. 3-11 for 8. And let's see what Salmon will now serve up over the wicket. And again, that's on the leg stump, but this time Boris Hutchinson didn't wind up for the big heave over mid wicket. Offered a defensive bat, goes out into the leg side. He hasn't scored. Hutchinson is still without scoring. Akeem Fraser is on 8, and Kingston, who resumed on 290 for 7. They are now 3-11 for 8, and it's Sean Grant who will take you through for the next half an hour or so.
Thank you very much, Mr. Higgins. Special good morning to you. And good morning to everyone across the globe for this final between Kingston and St. Catherine CC. Royal will be continuing from the Courtney Walsh end. A special good morning to the scorer beside me. I think he attends St. George's College, or used to. He'll be bowling to Fraser, Royal. Coming forward though, starting at 290 for 7 this morning. As Kingston want to pile on the runs. You heard from Orville earlier on, stating that they can bat for the entire day though, and it will be shared between both parties, the title in 2023. He's trying to sweep from outside the off stump. Ill-advised. Mr. Fraser saw something that everyone did not. Kept low that delivery from Royal. Forward short leg looking keenly. Thought of a single. Hutchinson, the new batsman, replacing Harrison, who made 21. Royal once again sweeping. Half-hearted appeal from Royal. Fraser has his side set on South Camp Road. Will he be fortunate? Will Royal get the better of him? Defensively, he lays the ball back up the track. If you look on the offside field, there's just one person in the cover court, and there's a mid-off. There's nobody else on the offside apart from first slip. Bowling to the left-hander once again. Defensively, he plays the ball back up the track. Fielded by Royal, end of another over. The score stands at 311 for 8. Fraser on 8. Has faced 46 deliveries so far for his 8. Hutchinson yet to get off the mark. Well, the ploy we saw from Pete Salmon, the captain of St. Catherine earlier on, was about into the pads of Hutchinson. So maybe he knows something that we don't. Same ploy, leg slip, forward short leg, one slip, surrounding the new batsman. New enough. Salmon. Oh, I thought he bowled him. He's gone. That's the 9th wicket to have gone down. No cheer at all from the St. Catherine cricketers. And Hutchinson goes back with a duck and the 9th wicket to have gone. Score stands at 311 for 9. I was in two minds though, that's why I said nothing. I thought the stumps had gone out of the ground, but his body has covered the stumps and there was no celebration at all. So the 9th wicket to go down. Harty, the new batsman. Replacing Hutchinson, who was bowled by Salmon, getting his 3rd wicket of the innings. 2 this morning from the captain. Royal has so far taken 5. Here's Salmon, it's a new batsman, popped up. Thought of a single. It would have been to his demise if he had gone through for the single. That's a formidable total though, because as stated, if St. Catherine respond and at the end of the day they do not make that total, it's a shared title if they're not bowled out. But they do have the firepower, to be honest, to make that runs in 2.5 sessions. Salmon. A reverse sweep, brilliantly done by Patrick Harty into the boundary for 4. Reverse sweep by Harty. That was heartless. Some patrons are calling for replay. Well, that was well timed by Harty. He's off the mark. Leg slip, slip, forward short leg, point, mid off, coming forward, hitting the inner half of the bat, going to mid wicket. There's no mid-on though. The mid-on is deep actually. Behind square. Pulling out of his run-up is the captain, Salmon. Salmon once again, bowling to Harty. Flighty delivery. In a half of the bat, they go through for one. One is all they get. One more run to the total. End of another over. Scoreline stands at 316 for 9. So Harty has moved on to 5, while Fraser is with him on 8. Royal, who has taken 5 wickets, so far in this innings, has bowled well, has bowled from one end, the Courtney Walsh end. As St. Catherine searching for that final wicket in this morning's playing. Final day of this final. 2 slips now being implemented. Silly mid-off, backward point, extra cover, mid-off, mid-on. And square on the boundary. Once the limit off, move into the forward short leg region. Royal bowling to Harty. Beaten, hit the edge. It bounced awkward in front of first slip. In the meantime, the batsmen, they cross for 1. One more run to the total. One off the bat of Harty. He has moved on to 6. Total stands at 317 for 9. That was a good delivery from Royal. Outside the off stump, Harty left his bat out to dry. Fraser, who has looked compact, turning off the legs. Brilliantly done. They go through for 1. Ticking over the score, as we heard from one of the member of the management team stating that they wanted to bat at least an hour this morning. That's Kingston. Let's see how many more runs they can make. Sweeping, hit on the pad, but I thought it touched the bat though, to be honest. They go through for 1. And 1 is all they get. I look on the umpire. Yes, it did touch the bat. Onto the pad. So 1 more run. This for Harty. He has shown that he has come out with the broom this morning. He played a reverse sweep that was so elegant off the bowling of Salmon. Royal into Fraser. Turning on the onside. Mid-wicket has gotten involved. 319 for 9. Coming forward, hitting the inner half of the bat. Forward short leg, given some work to do. Bright and sunny on this Sunday morning here in Kingston, Jamaica at Sabina Park. I hope my good friend Mr. Higgins had his breakfast this morning. As most persons will on a Sunday morning have their best breakfast for the week. Royal covering up, not playing the ball on the offside, the ball hitting the outer half of the bat, going on the offside. This by Fraser. Thought of a single. Harty went down the track, was sent back by Fraser. End of another over. The score stands at 319 for 9. Starting the day at 290 for 7 Kingston. And they're motored along, trying to close out this first hour. But still the persistent bowling of St. Catherine, led by their captain Salmon, and Royal on the other end. Still the same field, forward short leg, leg slip, one slip. Salmon, another try to reverse slip. They're appealing. He's gone. He's gone. Hart is gone. Trying for a reverse sweep, missed all ends up, went into the hand at first slip, who threw at the wicket, hit the wicket. He was outside of his crease, and that signals the end of the innings. 319 all out. Kingston, after being sent to bat, losing the toss yesterday, give you a rundown of the score or the scorecard. Buchanan and Morris opened the innings. Buchanan made 40, while Morris he made 147. Moran chipped in with a 38. Contributing score Riley with a 27. And Harrison contributed 21. Akeem Fraser, he made a 9. And Hutchinson, a duck. While Patrick Harty Jr. made 7. So the score 319 all out. Kingston, after being sent into bat, St. Catherine, they won the toss. Their response is now 320. That is needed to win this matchup. They can win the matchup by first innings. However, if they are bowled out, it will be Kingston as the champions. And there's another question sign to go up. If it is, and this big if the day's play ends and they do not reach a total, that is St. Catherine is going to be shared between the two teams. So 319 all out. Searching for victory, it will be 320 for St. Catherine. We'll be back with more from this epic battle happening at Sabina Park. Welcome back here at Sabina Park, Day 2 action. Senior Cup final between Kingston CC and St. Catherine CC. And the response now for St. Catherine CC, they need 320 to take first innings, and that will guarantee them victory. And the two openers, Kennard Lewis and Rain Williams. Rain Williams at the non-striker's end. And Kennard Lewis to face. if you want any team to chase down a total like this, it would have been St. Catherine. So Derval Green to start off proceedings. Pull out of his run-up. Well, here Alvin Higgins in the background. He's cheering on the two Westman lights, he said. Both are from Westmoreland, Karen Lewis and Green. They know each other well. The target here for St. Catherine is 4.26 and over. 75 overs to be bowled to complete the day's proceedings. Or movement there from Green off the seam. Kept a bit low though, that first delivery. Is tactical cricket for the rest of the day. Because Kingston, if they want a taste of the title, they can bowl slow, a little bit wayward, bowl tight, not allowing St. Catherine to get off. If they complete the 75 overs, slashing outside the off stump is Lewis. We told you before, he's an aggressive player. And going back to what I was saying earlier on, if they restrict them under that 320, even if wickets are intact, both will share the spoils. Nothing is wrong with that. At least they'll have the name on the title. They did their job in the batting department. Green once again to the pads. Lewis been very watchful. Williams at the other end. First to delivery outside the off stump. Moved away from the right-hander. He slashed at the second delivery. But he knows what Green has up his sleeves, short as they may. Two slips. Gully back to the point. Cover. Mid-off and mid-on. Going to the right-hander once more. Oh, that's a beautiful delivery from Green. That was a beauty. Had some bounce, pitched, and gently moved away from the right-hander. Tempted him to play at that delivery. He has seen a lot of different deliveries in this over so far, being bowled by Green, who pulls out again for the second time in this over. You'll hear from Mr. Higgins in a very short while. As you look back on the cards in that 319 all out, was led by Romain Morris, who top scored in that innings with 147. Javon Buchanan was the next best with 40. While Lionel Morant, he contributed 38, and Riley, he made 27. Royal, he took 5 for 101. Oh, slashing down in the ground, though, was Lewis. Pete Salmon, the captain, took 3 for 53. Oren Williams, 1 for 48. 319 all out for Kingston, who were sent into bat yesterday. This is the second and final day of the Senior Cup Final. Kingston with Green to Lewis. Oh, good bumper. Good bumper to Lewis to signal an end to the first over of the innings of St. Catherine. A maiden from Green. Has his tail up though, not a pace. As you'll hear from Mr. Higgins right now. He'll come on for the next half an hour. This is going to be interesting. I don't know why he's smiling though. This is interesting. This is intriguing. The first hour here is going to be very exciting. That would tell the tale.
All right, thank you very much, Sean. Well, Sean said a very intriguing contest here. The St. Catherine team, they will go for this total. They needed 4.26 at the start. You could add a couple of points, decimals to that, because the first over was a maiden. So we're about to see the start of the second over. The Kingston team not necessarily rushing through. Paul Harrison is going to be the bowler from the far end, the Courtney Walsh end. Left arm spin. Interestingly enough, no Boris Hutchinson to start the bowling, so the Kingston team opting for a pace and a spin option at the start. Let's see how Orain Williams and indeed Kennard Lewis will deal with all this. Orain Williams, so highly thought of in Jamaican circles, hasn't transformed his massive talent into the kind of regional performances that he'd like. But at this level, if he gets going, it could be quite exciting. His first delivery, played back down the pitch. Harrison, and comfortably on the back foot, plays it back at the bowler. Still no runs on the board for St. Catherine. They're appealing, not out. Maybe just struck outside off playing a shot. And the appeal wasn't particularly convincing, but you appeal. That's what fielding teams do. Get the batsman a little bit jittery, a little bit nervous. But he was playing a shot. And we're not exactly right over the batsman. Well, he goes for a little lap sweep down towards fine leg. It could run into the boundary. It gets there just about now. And that's an interesting start. That's the kind of talent we're telling you Orain Williams has. It's not the easiest of shots to play to a ball. Maybe pitching mid and off and spinning away. But St. Catherine are on their way. 4 without loss. It's a clever little lap sweep. A shot that has become a lot more popular in the advent of T20 cricket. Here is Orain Williams just patting it back. And Harris will wheel away again from around the wicket. Well played. End of over number 2. And the St. Catherine team, needing 320 to win, are 4 without loss. Run rate at the moment is exactly 2, 4 from 2. Remember, they started off needing just about 4.2. So if they're gonna do this, we'll see some fireworks at some point. So it's gonna be Derval Green who resumes the battle here with Kennard Lewis, and this one has a subplot beneath it. These two are very, very good friends. They are from the same part of Westmoreland, and I can tell you that the musterings will be flying. That's punched up towards cover. This could be tight. Oh, that could be tight if he had hit, but it's an overthrow. And they'll be coming back for 2. Derval Green would not be pleased. In fact, it runs into the boundary. And that is Lewis off the mark with an overthrow, which maybe you couldn't blame Akeem Fraser for, because Orain Williams was struggling to get back in his ground. But that was 4 for Lewis. And I was telling you, these two are good friends. They're from the same part of Westmoreland, grew up together. And at the end of the game, to It'll be fun to be where the two are. It will be relived all over again. Here's Green. That is proper away movement. Not too many bowlers in regional cricket are better able to get the new ball to dart away from right-handers than Derval Green. Arguably Jamaica's most consistent fast bowler over the last 5-6 years. Genuinely has that ability, even on the most docile tracks, to get the ball to shape away. Doesn't bring them back with the same degree, but he does get them to leave the bat appreciably. Here is he again. There you go. And Lewis not tempted. Genuine away swing bowler, Derval Green. He's one of those cricketers who transformed himself. He was a batting all-rounder while he was at St. Elizabeth Technical and playing youth cricket. But in the last, maybe say 8-9 years, he's become a bowler who can bat as opposed to the other way around. 8 without loss after 2.5. And you could sense that Lewis is itching to get after Derval Green here. That is another perler of a delivery. Too good for Lewis. But he played it well. You play the line. If it beats you, it beats you. He wasn't tempted to follow it with a little jerky movement of the hand when you see it leaving. He kept his batting line, probably realizing that those outswingers are great. I'm a little surprised that there isn't a third slip though. There is only a screen, that's 2 slip. You want early wickets. Well played. I think the captain could well ensure to have a third slip. Just for the next maybe 2 overs while Green is getting the ball to jag away. You want to get Lewis. He may look a little bit stodgy now, a little bit circumspect, a little bit iffy, but if he bats half an hour and doesn't get out, he's one of the more explosive batsmen, not just in Jamaica, but in regional cricket when he's set. So you need to get him out. I think a third step would be well and truly advised. That's a pull shot. Well, that's not really an appeal, is it? But that one goes to the keeper again. And Derval Green continues to keep things relatively quiet. Remember, it was an overthrow 4 that got Lewis off the mark. And it's now 8 without loss after 3.
Ben.
All right, so it's going to be Harris again. And Orion Williams will continue. He's on 4. Both batsmen on 4. And after 3 overs, they are still stuck at their respective ends, which means no rotation of strike, no singles on offer anywhere. Harris bowls and Williams is forward. So that's 19 legal deliveries, no singles yet. Which means the batsmen at the moment are facing the same bowlers over after over. That's another reverse lap. This one is even better played. Well, nice little sweep shot. Played it fine. And that's 4 more runs. And if you thought the first one was a fluke, well, Orion Williams is telling you that he's got that shot down pat. And it's a great shot because this is a left-arm spinner who is technically spinning it away. And let's see if there will be any adjustment. Will they now have a leg slip to counter that shot? They're having a discussion about it. And what will they do? Will they leave that leg slip vacant? Appears they will. Somebody will be coming to leg slip. Yeah, they are telling Orion Williams, we are not going to allow you to just lap sweep those fine shots. But he's not coming in a catching position. He's going a short, fine leg. So he's there to prevent a boundary and not to take the catch, interestingly enough. Again, I think that this is just too much of a defensive option. If you're going to have him there, why not have him catching? Here is Harris. And this has worked out towards a mid-wicket. That's the first single. And it's now 13 without loss as Lewis now comes on strike. Lewis has faced 12 deliveries for his 4. And let's see. Lewis is very good at hitting it down the ground. And there's already a long off and a long on back. You suspect if Harris flights. Well, that one was a little bit flat. And Lewis respects it back to the bowler. 13 without loss. It's almost like a calm before the storm, because if you know Lewis well enough, you know he's not going to be doing this for too much longer. Here we go. That's out towards wideish mid-wicket. And that's 4. That was coming. That's his area. From straight mid-wicket out towards long off. He's not the greatest hitter of the ball through the offside unless it's really well short, unless it's straight. But he's opened his account, opened the big shoulders and back. Hitting one back at the bowler. End of over number 4. It's now 17 without loss. Current run rate 4.25. They needed 4.26 at the start. So just like that, the St. Catherine team are right where they want to be, run rate-wise at any rate. And you suspect if they bat all day, they will come pretty close to the score. They've got to be bowled out, you think, not to make it. As we welcome Mr. Courtney Francis. Derville Green will continue. Already Mr. Francis making some utterings. He must have been listening to some of the things I was saying. Derville Green will continue, this time to Oren Williams. And as I was pointing out, Derville Green is probably the best fast bowler in Jamaica at getting the ball to move away from right-handers. One of the very best at that in the region, and only 2 slip. He doesn't get it to come back to the same appreciable degree, but let's see how Oren Williams will go about it. Here's Green. Look at the away movement there. And the team trying to win a game, only 2 slips. You don't want these 2 to settle. If these 2 bat an hour and come back in that second session, it could be interesting. Kingston need to get wickets here. Scoring rate required is just over 4, which is very manageable if St. Catherine bats all the way. Here's Green again. And look at that. Why wouldn't you have a 3rd slip? Played, missed. And these are times when you wonder how much Green himself, as a senior bowler, should be able to say to his captain, Skip, I need another man catching at 3rd slip. Even for the next over or 2, you don't want Oren Williams to edge it past 3rd slip. And then you get the 3rd slip in when the horse is already bolted. Strange, really. Here's Green again. Look at that. Ball is almost talking here. What do they need to do to get in a 3rd slip? That is some bowling. And We were saying early on in the game that there wasn't much sideways movement on this pitch, but Green is saying, well, what were you all talking about? The ball is absolutely curling away. Make you probably wonder why they've started with only one pacer. Here is Green again. And if you have to be critical of Derval Green, then this is it. He doesn't get the ball to duck back with the same degree of swing as he does the one that goes away. So once it pitched just outside off, you as a batsman almost always can leave alone. If he had the ability to get them to come back from that length, now they're going to be putting in a third slip. This has taken, in my mind, maybe 10 balls too late. Thankfully, from their point of view, nothing will go there. Now let's see if Derval Green maintains that line. Oh my goodness. This is as good an opening spell as you could want. Those deliveries just too good for Oren Williams. This is as good as it gets. There's pace, there's bounce, there's movement. And as a batsman, you've got to say, too good for me. Yeah, you could see on the replay there that he was trying to get to it before it starts curling away. There was one or two exploratory steps down the track. But this is some bowling. Derval Green charges in and Oren Williams says, not quite, young man, not quite. You're going to wait until I'm good and ready. What Derval Green cannot do now is bowl straight because there's acres and acres of real estate between the man at mid-on and the man at backward square. So anything straight, there's 1 or 2 runs on offer for sure in the onside. So Green has to maintain that off-stump line going away. Can't be too straight. That's punched off the back foot. Lovely shot that. Well, that one was short. And Oren Williams off the back foot played a most immaculate back drive through the covers for 4. Takes it to 21 now after 5. And 21 after 5 means that they are scoring just over 4 per over, which is exactly what they need. They need to get 320 at 4.2 to win the game. They are scoring at just over 4 at the moment. So scoring rate is fine if you're a St. Catherine supporter. And you get the feeling that although they are scoring at the rate they require, they haven't really opened up yet. They haven't really gone looking for an exciting shot. They're basically playing on merit. That ball deserved the treatment. So Harris to Lewis. Long off, going all the way back. So is long on. And Harris from around. And Lewis on the charge. That one is hit high and hard over long on. Wow! Well, I told you that that is Lewis's area. He'll target you straight. And that one he deposited over wide long on. And that's gone for 6. It's now 27. Lewis goes to 14. This could be interesting. That one was a huge hit. And can't say it's unexpected when Lewis opens up his big shoulders. Let's see if Harris will fly it again or if he'll be a little bit quicker through the air now. A little bit quicker. And it's cut out towards backward point. They take a single. So good backing up from Oren Williams. Saw the opportunity to the ball going to the right of the man square on the offside. And they took off for a single, which they get easily enough. Brings Williams back on strike. There's a replay of the one that was hammered over wideish long on. Williams back on strike now, though. Williams on 13. 28 without loss. Run rate, as you see there, 5.25. So they are scoring quicker now than what is required. That's driven out towards Medan. Quick single. Makes it in the end. Makes it in the end. It was Lewis. His heart must have been in his mouth for a split second. But in the end, it was comfortable enough. Here's the replay. It was hit out towards Medan. Lewis didn't start charging right away. He was guilty of ball watching, which is what you should never do as a non-striker. Trust your partner's call. That second that you swing your head to see where the ball's at can cost you a few inches at the other end. But Lewis back on strike now. Williams on 14. Lewis on 15. 29 without loss. And he's hitting that to the left of the man at point. And gets a single. And at the end of, well, no. I'm rushing it a little bit. 30 without loss after 5.4. Here is Harris. He's gone for a few. Oh, that's edging, and no back. For a split second, I thought there was an edge on it, but it's clear that it's spun past the back. Taken by, looks to be Fraser at first slip. That one did spin. Here we go. It's Buchanan at slip. He pushed forward, and they missed everything. So we are seeing a little bit more spin on the wicket now than we did on the opening day. And Williams plays out towards that man at short fine leg. And no run that. Over number 6 completed. 30 without loss. That's 5 and over. Easy to make that calculation. So St. Catherine are ahead of the scoring rate that they need to be to overhaul this fairly formidable score of 320. But they've started quite briskly here. 6 overs, 30 runs, 5 and over. You get the feeling that if they bat until the close of play, unless they are 8 or 9 wickets down, they'll get this total. They are not going to be 5 down or 4 down and not make this total. I can guarantee you that. If wickets are falling rapidly, then they may go for the draw, but they are a very aggressive team, the St. Catherine. And these 2 opening batsmen are testimony to that. Battle continues. Derval Green has been bowling some pearlers that have proven just too good. He's conceded only 8 from his 3 overs so far. And Lewis pulling away. Not sure what's happening. Maybe somebody in front of the side screen. But it's all poised. It's all exciting. Sean Grant will be coming in after this over. He'll take you to lunch. He smiles when he hears the word lunch, people. Here's Green. And that's pulled and taken the top edge and will run down behind the wicket keeper for 4. So it was short. And Lewis was going for the big pull, getting the top edge and flew over the keeper's head. He's not going to be overly concerned with that. And Lewis is saying that should have gone over mid-wicket. Hands on heads for Derval Green. But I could tell you, if he bowls short again, Lewis is likely to go for the hook shot again. It's that kind of a player and this kind of a small rivalry. He plays that square on the offside. Lovely shot. Another short ball, deliberately steering it away. And it goes into the fence for 6. I thought for a minute it dropped just short. And that was well played. A deliberate opening up of the face here. Flew over third man. And that's 6 runs. Lewis now 26. It's now 40 without loss. And we are just 6.2 overs in. Current run rate 6.32. So yeah, there's a contest. And Derval Green may be guilty of being a little too short. And Kennard Lewis having a little chat with the wicket keeper and the 2 slips. You can tell that it's a final. And the mustering is on in earnest. But Kennard Lewis, he's not going to back down. That's just not the way he plays. Here is Derval Green now. Oh, that's another perler of a delivery. Derval Green went short, got punished, and then has gone back to that immaculate length and that line that both batsmen have struggled to deal with. Perfect outswinger. If you want to be just a little bit critical, is that he's just not been close enough to the batsman, so he's not finding the edge. But my goodness, he's been looking the part. And when he gets it right, like I said, Derval Green is one of the best away swing bowlers in regional cricket. Here is he again. That time, a little bit too wide. Lewis realizing by now that they're not going to be coming back. He allowed it to go through. And that's taken by the keeper. And again, only 2 slips. They've had a brief experiment with a third, but they've gone back to being a little bit defensive. Here is Green. Oh, that was the one that was straight. And again, right where the third slip would have been, edging down towards third man. And you could see that that was the one intended to be straight. And Lewis coming down, finding the outside edge. Didn't go at it too hard. Here's the replay. Played forward. Loosened the hand so it didn't quite carry, even if there was a third slip. And the action continues to unfold. St. Catherine has rushed up to 44 without loss. And they're scoring almost 6.5 and over at the moment. But for my money, there should still be a third slip. There wouldn't have been a catch, but it probably wouldn't have gone all the way to the boundary. Here's Green again. Oh, lovely delivery. Lewis plays and signals with the arm that it left him. Good delivery. End of Derval Green's over. His figures spoiled a little bit by the 10 from that, but he's still bowling some magic deliveries. 44 without loss. And Sean Grant will take you through to lunch.
Thank you very much, Mr. Higgins. Enjoying the atmosphere here at Sabina Park on the final day of the Senior Cup final between Kingston and St. Catherine. Second, Steve Harrison will continue. Harrison continuing, bowling to Williams. We told you before, though, we did not carry our crystal ball, but we knew that once the total was set by Kingston, if it was 400 or 500, St. Catherine, they would go after it. They have the arsenal, they have the artillery to go after it. Harrison from the Courtney Walsh end. Just one slip. Short fine leg, the back with a point. Sweep on the boundary, extra cover. There's a long off to Williams. Just tucked it around the square leg region. They go through for 1. They thought of a second. Well, the thought has become a reality. Start of over number 8. 46 runs on the board. 2 off the bat of Williams. Harrison once again. Well, the mid-on is deep. Forward defensively he plays, back up the track. Feeded by Harrison. Lewis is on 30 from 24 deliveries. 16 from 19 deliveries. Harrison in his 4th over of the innings. Forward defensively once more is Williams. Was in that position before the ball left the hand of Harrison. So that was his intent with that delivery. Coming down the track, hit it high. He may be caught, and he's caught. He's gone. Harrison getting the first wicket of St. Catherine's innings. And Williams going for 16. If you watched what happened in that over, twice he played defensively. He was trying to line him up to go down the track. And however, Harrison read it well, dropped it short. He was not to the pitch of that delivery, skied it, and was caught. And the mid-on moving to his left, taking the catch. And the first wicket to go. Carlos taking the catch. First wicket to go to Harrison. So 46 for 1, St. Catherine. That was intelligent cricket all around, though, to be honest. And I use the term all around because what was happening was that he was sizing him up, and Harrison read it because Williams, showing that he was in defensive mood, trying to fool him, and then went down the track, but he was dropped short by Harrison. And Derval Green came around, was feeling at mid-on, that took the catch. The new batsman, Carlos Brown. His new batsman. This for St. Catherine CC, losing their first wicket at 46. They're searching, however, for 320 for first innings points and for victory. Harrison bowling to the new batsman. Playing the ball back up the track, off the ground. Brown, forward short leg being brought in, one slip, backward a point. Cover, extra cover. Forward defensively, going by the outstretched arm of Harrison. However, the mid-on came across quickly, preventing a single. End of over number 8, 46 for 1. That is St. Catherine searching for 320 for first innings points and victory in this Senior Cup final. Lewis is on 30, has looked aggressive as per usual. Will Green continue? He has bowled some beauty. Yes, he will. This morning. As you look, Orion Williams going for 16. So right now they need 4 and over. It's not a one-day affair though, but according to the overs that's led for the day, they need 4 and over. Started at 4.26. Green pulling out, not for the first, second, maybe the third time. It's pulled out, bowling to Kenar Lewis. Lewis is on 30 from 24. Two slips, a gully, backward a point, cover, mid off, mid on. Long leg. The man behind square. I thought of bringing in the fielder. The short cover, change the mind, straying on the pads. There's no mid wicket. They go through for 1-1 is all they get. Mid-on had to go to his right. One more run off the bat of Lewis. One more run to the total. .47 for 1. The new batsman, Brown, is facing up. Oh, beautiful delivery from Green. We told you before, he has been bowling some beautiful ones, moving away from the right-hander. We haven't seen any move into the right-hander, but they're pitched and moved away, tempting the batsmen to try to play at it. That one kept a bit low, though, from Derval Green. Two slips of gully back with a point, cover mid-off, mid-on. Dead ball signaled by the umpire. And square leg. And long leg. No third man, though. As Green bowling to Brown. The color clash not working at all. As Green is marking back his run-up. I'm going to ask the scorer, though. If you mix the color green and brown, what does it bring? I give it that for homework. I'll tell you in a very short while. Here comes Derval Green bowling to Carlos Brown. Outside the off stump, brilliantly going through to the wicket keeper. That was with some pace. Not a lot of bounce on the last two deliveries from Derval Green. You heard from Mr. Orville Higgins earlier on this morning. He started off the proceedings after lunch. And yes, I did mention lunch, Orville. Green bowling to Brown, full delivery. Punching, trying to beat the mid-off, going to his left, preventing a boundary. But they go through for one. A full delivery from Green, driving to the left of mid-off, diving to his left, preventing the boundary, but the batsman, they went through for a single. Well, the scorer trying to figure it out. The youngsters these days, they've on the internet. Lewis peeling on the outer half of the bat, and it bounces over the rope, going into the boundary for four. An innocuous boundary from Lewis. It's skied high and into the boundary for four. Got the runs, but was in no control of that shot. And the man up back with a point. No, he stays on the boundary. After that shot from Lewis. Scores moved to 52 for 1. Green bowling to Lewis. Pitched and moving away from the right-hander outside the off stump. That signals the end of another over from Derval Green. And the youngster beside me is telling me that green and brown brings you green. I never knew that. 52 for 1 after 9 overs. Lewis on 35. And with him is Carlos Brown at 1. Well, that's a trivia. I don't think he's correct, though, but he may be. Looking at the bowling, Green has bowled 5 overs, 1 maiden, none for 28. Harrison, 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 24. Only 2 bowlers used so far in this innings. So Harrison will be continuing. 52 for 1, searching for 320 for first innings points and overall victory. The title is on the cards. Up for grabs. Harrison bowling to Brown. Oh, playing the ball on the offside. Back with a point moving around. 1 more run to the total. Solid stroke from Brown. Scoreline stands at 53 for 1. Carlos Brown moving to 2. He's at the non-striker's end. So now the offside field. 1 slip. Back with a point. Sweep on the boundary. Extra cover. There's no bid off. There's a long off and a long on. There's Harrison once more, bowling to Lewis, going back and playing the ball on the offside, extra cover. No run scored from that delivery. They expect fireworks from Kennard Lewis. If you look on the leg side, from square leg, come all the way around, no one is there. So he can't afford to stray on the pads or he will be punished. 2 dot deliveries to Lewis from Harrison. With the score stands at 53 for 1. Harrison once again trying to guide it down to the third man region. Well, the fielder is there. Short third man though. At a wide angle. Coming forward and finding the placement to find the sweeper on the boundary as they go through for 1. 1 more run to the total. 1 more run off the bat of Lewis. The field now brought in. There's no long on and long off for Carlos Brown. They're brought in to mid on and mid off. Sweeper coming off the boundary. Back with a point. Cover, extra cover. Forward short leg brought in. Defensively plays on the offside to signal the end of the 10th over. And the 5th over being bowled by Harrison. Score stands at 54 for 1. Kennard Lewis on 36. And with him is Carlos Brown, who is on 2. So 1 for 26 from 5 for Harrison. And none for 28 for Derval Green. He has also bowled 5. Will Green continue? He has troubled the batsmen, although not successful just yet. Now I think there will be a change in the bowl. Patrick Harty Jr. will be on. Green has been taken out. Harty is a new bowler from the Michael Holding end. Just in front of the George Headley stand. He will be bowling to Lewis. And whenever Lewis faces, they tend to spread the field. Mid on and mid off goes to long on and long off. 1 slip. And spin is from Michael Holding end. So 1 slip. To the right-hander. Playing back with soft hands. They go through for a single. Because the field is so spread, soft hands dropped it on the offside and went through for the single. They expect Kennard Lewis to swing for the ropes every single time he faces a delivery. But smart cricket from Lewis. The forward short leg being implemented for Brown. Harty bowling to Brown on the pads. On the bounce, fielded by forward short leg, back with a point cover, extra cover. Mid on, mid off. Mid wicket. Field on the square leg boundary. There's a turn there from Harty. Pitched about middle. Moved slightly away from the right-hander. Played it with the full face of the bat, Carlos Brown. Harty once again. Thought about coming forward. Well, that was a quicker delivery from Harty. Sent him thinking again, thinking twice. So he went back. Carlos Brown. Harty again, bowling to Brown. Outside the off stump this time around. Score stands at 55 for 1. We're in the 11th over, 1 delivery to go. Forward defensively on the offside. That should signal the end of the 11th over. 55 for 1. Kingston searching for 320 runs for victory. Now in this hour, they have to put up at least 70 runs, you think, to stay on track. And that's the thought, though, to be honest. I may be incorrect in my thoughts. Harrison continues, bowling his 6th over on the trot. To Kennard Lewis, 1 slip. Short third man, point. He's sweeping, taking that from outside of stump, and it goes into the boundary for 4 in front of the Kingston Cricket Club. He took that from outside the off stump. And I told you about the field they've set for him, an offside field. So they know that the bowling will be outside the off stump, then and there. There's a fielder in front of square, but there's no other fielder coming all the way around to the third man. Playing at that delivery, playing with his life was Lewis. That's a better delivery from Harrison. Score stands at 59 for 1, Lewis on 41. He has faced 34 deliveries. Taps away at the crease. Playing that on the offside. Fielded by the bowler, moving to his left. So you know what the intention is from Kingston. They'll keep the ball outside the off stump. He has to go for it. And in do so, may give away his wicket. Punching that ball down to the long on fielder. They go through for 1. And 1 is all they'll get from that delivery. Scoreline now jumps to 60 or 59. 60 for 1, pardon me. And Lewis has gone on to 42. He stands at the non-striker's end. And watch Harrison bowling to Brown. Forward short leg implemented. A slip. Flighted delivery. Peeling off the outer half of the bat. It goes through to the third man region. There's a fielder after it, but he won't catch it unless he was Usain Bolt or Asafa Paul in his heyday. It rolls into the boundary for 4. A good delivery from Harrison, however. It has brought up a 4 off the bat of Brown, peeling off the outer half of the bat. 4 more runs to the total, 64 for 1. Brown has gone on to 6. String on the leg side. And signals the end of the over of Harrison. With that dot delivery. 12 overs bowled. St. Catherine 64 for 1. Searching for 320 runs for victory. A recap of Kingston innings. Romain Morris, he top scored in the innings with 147. Javon Buchanan, he contributed 40, while Lionel Morant 38. And Michael O'Reilly, he made 27. Bowling for St. Catherine, Javor Royal, he took 5 for 101. Pete Salmon 3 for 53, and Arain Williams 1 for 48. One was a run out early on. Patrick Harty continues from the Michael Holding end, bowling to Lewis. Lewis is on 42. He is in a no-nonsense mood. Bowling to Lewis. Going back, playing on the offside. I thought of a single, though, but that was not on. We saw soft hands in the over before from Lewis, but that was not soft at all. He played the ball right to the fielder, and he thought of going for a single. Harty once again. Oh! Many persons thought that was a catch. Played at that delivery. I'd love to see that again, though. Did he go into the ground? Wow. Wow, all I can say is wow. Maybe my good friend beside me say, feel that dive forward. Going back and punching. Can't beat the man up backward a point. No run scored from that delivery. Kennard Lewis being bogged down somewhat. There's a little dove, though, flying over the ground. Enjoying the cricket on a Sunday. Going back and pulling, and trying to pull on the leg side. We told you before that the field is stacked on the offside. It's a long off and long on. Bowling once again. Quicker delivery. Going back and cutting in the ground. And again, Kennard Lewis looks on the bat. Did not look on his arm to say, oh, poor timing from me, poor execution from me. He looked on the bat. Harty once again. Quicker delivery. Cutting. Over the man. Into the boundary for 4. Point jumped. But jumped without any perfection and success. And cutting hard was Lewis. That was a shot from a gun. 68 for 1. Lewis on 46. He has faced 42 deliveries. Carlos Brown on 6. End of another over. And score stands 68. Wow. When it left the bat, I was looking on the ropes. And the ball met my eyes there. That's how fast it went from it left his bat. The total 320. That is the target to gain first innings and to win the matchup. Well, the score says just on track. What kind of track? Harrison will be continuing from the Courtney Walsh end. I want to say a special good morning to Jerome Foster, who was with us yesterday. Has an engagement today. Man with the time and the knowledge when it comes on to a lot of things. So edging or hitting the out half of the bat, don't think that was well directed. Did not open the face of the bat though, Carlos Brown. And for the second time you saw that. He got a boundary for the first. He's not in control though of those deliveries bowled by Harrison outside the off stump as he rehearses. As he's showing what he should have done. With Harrison bowling to Lewis. So short third man, point, extra cover, sweep on the boundary, long off, then long on. Punching the ball to the long off fielder. They go through for one. And one more run to the total. Total stands at 70 for 1 in this 14th over. Lewis is on 47 from 43. And Carlos Brown on 7. The wicket to have gone was Rain Williams. He fell for 16. He was caught. Outsmarted, you may say, by Harrison. Taps away of the crease, Brown. Harrison once again. Turning it fine. They go through for a quick single. He don't normally say quick single when he comes on to Kennard Lewis. He doesn't fit the bill. Although not fitting it, he's doing it. $71 for 1. 2 deliveries to go to complete the 14th over. Lewis is on 47. Thoughts about playing the ball on the onside. If you look on the field, though, I don't know if you can see the entire field. No, you can't. There is a long on. Mid-wicket, deep mid-wicket. Swinging, hitting the edge, I think. It'll roll into the boundary for 4. They hit the edge or they hit the pad. I'm looking on the umpire. 4 runs. So that's his half century. Hitting the bat and going behind the stumps into the boundary for 4. Lewis has brought up his half century, not in a controlled manner, but nevertheless 4 more runs to the total. 4 more runs off the bat. That's important. 51 to Kennard Lewis. As he continues, whether controlled or not, he continues to do the work for St. Catherine. 7-1 on the board. 71 for 1. Patrick Harty continues. And we assume it's the last over before lunch. That's the assumption on my part. I may be incorrect, though, to be honest. Harty bowling to Brown. Steering on the pad. Sweeping is Brown. And it will roll into the boundary now. 4 more runs to the total. Well timed, well executed by Carlos Brown. Brown has moved on to 12. Scoreline stands at 79 for 1. 79, pardon me, for 1. I knew I was right. Harty string on the legs. There's a feeling on a deep square leg boundary. And they're shifting him around. There's no fine leg, no long leg. Using his pads, hit outside the off stump. And umpire says no. The appeal sang right around the ground. With the orchestra was disappointed at the end. Harty continuing from just in front of the George Headley stand. Flighty delivery has brought on the mid-on in the play. Coming across to his left. That's a dot delivery. As you see, trail the first innings by 240 runs. We have some time to go in this second and final day. The Senior Cup final. St. Catherine entered this final as favorites because of their performances throughout the competition. Harty, the sticklet fine. They go through for one. They will come back for the second. The 2 more runs to the total. Score is now ticked over to 81. Carlos Brown, he has moved on to 14. String again was Harty on the pads. He has a strong offside field, but he's bowling into the pads few times to Brown. A slip, back with a point, cover, extra cover, mid-off. The mid-wicket and a mid-on. Going forward was Brown. Playing defensively was Brown. The umpire looked on his watch and says, that's lunch. So at lunch, searching for 320 for first innings points and victory. They are 81 for 1. That's St. Catherine. Devil Green has so far bowled 5 overs, taken none for 28. Paul Harrison 1 for 42 from 7. And Patrick Harty Jr. none for 11 from 3 overs bowled. Green has only one who has bowled a maiden so far in the innings. 51 off the bat of Kenal Lewis. Carlos Brown is with him. And Carlos Brown is there on 14. And the only wicket to have gone so far in the innings, Orion Williams, bowled by Harrison, caught by Green, the mid-on running to his left. He left the party for 16. So what a morning of cricket we have had so far, with Kingston starting at 290 for 7 this morning. However, they're actually bowled out for 319. So they added this morning 29 runs for the last 3 wickets. Top scoring in the innings was Morris with 147. Buchanan was the next best at 40, and Morant 38. Bowling for St. Catherine, Royal finished with 5 for 101. And Pete Salmon, the captain, 3 for 53. While Lorraine Williams, the only other successful bowler, 1 for 48. So at lunch, searching for 320 for first innings points, Kingston, or sorry, St. Catherine, pardon me, are 81 for 1. We'll be back after lunch.
All right, thank you very much. And we are back to the post-lunch session in what is likely to be an extremely exciting second session. And the score is 81 for 1 at the moment. There is the Kingston team coming out. And in a minute now, we're going to be seeing Kennard Lewis and Carlos Brown making their way through. And that's a look at both squads. Carlos Brown and Kennard Lewis will resume battle. It's going to be Derval Green who will be coming from the north stand this time. And I can tell you that during the lunch and interval, it's quite some mustering. Kennard Lewis, there he is, 51 from 45. He's at 8 4s, 2 6s, so he's his usual belligerent self with the bat. And there's Carlos Brown, 14 from 23, a little bit more measured, but you expect him to increase his own intensity after a while as well. It's going to be Derval Green right after lunch. It's 81 for 1. Remember, they need 320 to win, and 2 sessions to get the rest of the runs. It's going to be Lewis facing. And here's the first ball right after lunch. Oh, well, that's not the first ball right after lunch. Green has checked himself. So here is now the first ball after lunch. And that slashed through the offside. That was hit with some power. And it has gone all the way. In fact, what a greeting. And Kennard Lewis is saying to Derval Green, well, I'm going to show you who's boss here. He walked that over cover for 6. First ball after lunch. Welcome, Derval Green. That was some start. Well, here's Green again then. What's his response? This is whacked again over the infield. And that will go pretty close to the cover boundary as well. But they'll only get 2, you think? Yeah, they're not going to chance the third. So Kennard Lewis, it's a no ball as well. Signaled by the umpire there. But Kennard Lewis has come out after lunch. He means absolute business. They're going to strengthen that offside field. We're taking a man from back from the onside, from mid-wicket. They've now put him in the covers. Here's Derval again. This one is worked through the mid-wicket region. That could also go pretty close to the boundary. It does now. And what a start for Kennard Lewis. That was very well played. Having been carted twice over the infield on the offside. Derval Green this time trying to get closer to the stumps. And then found himself being worked through the onside for 4. And Kennard Lewis rushes up to 63. So, score is 94 for 1. We've seen 14 runs in no time at all. In fact, with a no ball, it's more than that. Here is this one played a little bit more respectfully out towards Whitish Medan. No run. Better deliver that from Derval Green, who is gone for a few now. None for 41. And is in his 6th over. So he's taking some stick. Yes, indeed. Is also Derval Green again. And that's better played. Better bowled out into the offside. And a single to Kennar Lewis. Want to say big up to a young man all the way in Dubai. Mr. Zenith Fowler, sir. I know you probably missed the days when you were playing cricket, my boss. Big up my brother, who is former Jamaica player, listening to the commentary from some distant world. He's watching his schoolmate Derval Green, this time to Carlos Brown. Carlos Brown is on 14. It's 95 for 1. They're chasing 320. 224 more to get in a little under 2 sessions. That's driven. Nice drive up towards mid-off. And well knocked down. Carlos Brown, highly thought of in Jamaican circles. One or two judges of the game feels he'll be the next outstanding Jamaican batsman. Has only played 1 first-class game, made his debut this season. And certainly looks the part, but he'll have to transfer all that talent into runs. That one is hit in front. Derval Green not getting the verdict he wanted. The umpire shook his head straight away, which probably meant that there might have been some inside edge on that. But it's the end of the 2nd over after lunch. Score 95 for 1 with Kennar Lewis and Carlos Brown continuing their middleweight. So it's going to be Patrick Harty will continue. Patrick Harty will be bowling to the ultra-aggressive Kennar Lewis. Kennar Lewis, the conversation keeps going. Romain Morris is the keeper. Here's Harty. And he's off the back foot, punches up to cover, no run. The amount of mustering that was going on during the lunch break. Green threatening Lewis. Lewis talking to Romain Morris, who are all from the same neck of the woods. Off the back foot. He slices a cut shot. That will go down to wide, 3rd man for 4 more. And Kennar Lewis has come out after lunch with positive intent. And at this rate, he'll get 100 in no time. It's 99 for 1 now. And Lewis moves up to 68. He's scoring rather rapidly since lunch. Harty again. And this is punched through the offside. Easy single. That's the 100. So that's the 100 for the St. Catherine team. 100 for 1. 16 and a half overs bowled. So they are scoring at a pretty decent clip. The run rate at the moment, as you're seeing there on your screen, is 6.06. This partnership is now 54. At the start, they required 4.2 to win. 4.2 per over to win. And as you can see there, they are scoring much, much quicker than that. It's now 3.7 is the asking rate from here on in. And you think if they don't get pulled out, the St. Catherine team will certainly lift the title. Here is Harty. And punched. Nice shot that from Carlos Brown. Lovely shot for 4. Oh, that was sweet. Really didn't hit that too hard. Came back, and as it spun across him, a spanking back drive square on the offside. And 4 rather good looking runs. Takes him now to 18. And they scored 104. That was a lovely shot. Here's Harty again. And that's again slashed out towards the man on the boundary at point. Is that another 4? It is. This one wasn't as short and wasn't as wide, but he made room. And a delightful square cut is another boundary. And St. Catherine on the charge here in this Senior Cup final. 108 now for 1. Carlos Brown goes up to 22. And Patrick Harty, at the moment, unable to contain these two. Here is Carlos Brown coming forward respectfully to that. And that's the end of Harty's 4th over. He's gone none for 24, so he's going at exactly 6 and over. And Lewis will continue to do battle, no doubt, with Derval Green. There you see it, Derval Green. His 6 overs have gone for 42. Harrison's 7 overs have also gone for 42. And Patrick Harty Jr., 4 overs, none for 24. So all bowlers, all 3 bowlers that we have seen on display so far are going at least 6 and over. And it tells you that the St. Catherine team won't die wondering. They are going at this total. And we get the feeling that there's maybe the odd twist still to come. Derval Green will continue to Lewis. Here's Green. And that's steered, but well knocked down by the man at Gully. Deliberately steered down. Green goes back to his mark. Deep in concentration. Forward comes Lewis. Yeah, he can do that as well. Played out into the covers, no run. So no ball as well. So maybe they're striving for extra pace there. Derval Green overstepping the front line. And he's set to bowl to Lewis again. That's there, down towards the vacant 3rd man, that's 4. That was deliberate. Just outside off. And Kennard Lewis getting the ball in between first slip and a finish Gully. And down to 3rd man for yet another boundary. They're coming thick and fast at the moment. So it is now, what's the score now? It's a score of 113 for 1. And Kennard Lewis now goes up to 69. He's on 73 at the moment. The scoreboard just taking a little while to take over. There he is, 73 from 56 balls. Clearly eyeing a century. Romain Morris got 145 it was, or 44 for the Kingston team, and Lewis trying to at least replicate that. He's forward. Nice delivery. Well played. And that's, in fact, they're coming back for the second. That's a horrible cricket. There were never 2 runs in that. But the point going to his right and the gully going to his right and the man coming off the point fence. Maybe both thought that the other would get it. In the end, neither got it quickly enough. And Lewis is back for 2. He goes now to 75. And when a batsman is going that well, you don't want to give him even more easy runs. 115 for 1 as here's Green. Again, good delivery. And well respected by Lewis. Takes off for a single. It's Carlos Brown back on strike. Lewis is now 76. Carlos Brown 22. And Derval Green's figures continuing to look a little bit on the expensive side. None for 50 from 6.4. Derval Green just having a little chat with his captain. There they are. Akeem Fraser. Not sure what Derval is asking for or what his captain is asking of him. We'll probably never know. Let's see if there is any change of the field. Yes, they are sending the man at point all the way back. Just out of picture to the left of your screen or to the right of your screen looking on. So it's Carlos Brown who will continue. He's on 22. Edged down to third man. Again, this time it probably will be cut off. The man running from backward point, running to his left. Well, they're back for the second. Carlos Brown now goes to 24. It's now 118 for 1. Carlos Brown again. Well played. You could hear the yelp from Derval Green as he delivered that. Well respected by Brown. It's 118 for 1 after 18. Kenar Lewis on 76 will continue, no doubt, from Patrick Harty from the George Edley Standard. Partnership is 74 from 64 balls. Lewis has contributed 46 of that from 34. And Carlos Brown, 24 from 30. He came in at number 3. So his Harty will continue. And this time it's Lewis on strike. Bright yellow helmet on. Here's Harty. Down the leg side, swept away. That is going to be 4 good-looking runs. Nobody at all in that square leg region. That was a lovely sweep shot, brilliantly executed. And Kenar Lewis, well, he's looking a dangerous customer at this point in time. That's 76 now. He's now 80, yeah. 80 from 59 balls. And it's 122 for 1. Here's a Harty to Lewis. Off the back foot, punched out to the man on the deep cover boundary. And they're coming back for the second. A little misfield. And these two are running very well between the wickets. Lewis goes up to 82 with that. So the scoreboard just, the graphics just taking a little time, but Lewis is on 82. Harty bowls. He punches off the back foot again. And this time they will only get a single. And he's 83. It's 125 for 1. Carlos Brown on strike now. Still another 194 to get, but at the rate that these two are batting and with the kind of firepower to come, you can't write off St. Catherine at all. In fact, they may very well be favorites. That's appeal. And wasn't the most confident of appeals. And Carlos Brown lives to fight on another day. Here's Harty. That was a good delivery. Can he follow it up? He's short and punched out towards backward point for a single. Guilty of bowling a little bit too short. The batsmen have been playing the cut shot to balls dragged down. They're not really going out to drive, and that usually tells you that the length is a little bit on the short side. Brings Lewis back on strike. What will he do? It's 83 not out. That's what he is. And he sweeps again. A lovely sweep shot. And they take one and they will settle for one. Not sure that this is the best I've seen Patrick Harty bowled. Either been too short or badly lined. End of over number 19. It's 127 for 1 with Lewis on 84. And Carlos Brown keeping him company on 26, I think it is. Yeah, 25. So good going from St. Catherine. The batsman out so far is Orion Williams, who was caught by Derval Green off the bowling of Harrison. He was attempting a little half-hearted shot. And that's the only scalp that has gone so far. So a bowling change from the north stand end. Paul Harrison will come back. And it will be interesting to see what will Lewis's approach be. Harrison has taken the only wicket to have gone so far. He's gone for a few. But let's see if he could weasel out another wicket from somewhere. Here's Harrison. That's punched off the back foot again. And just like the other left-arm spinner, Harty from the other end. Just guilty of dragging it down and allowing the batsman almost a free hit with those balls short and spinning away. Carlos Brown now comes on strike. Lewis is 85 at the moment. Let's see again. That one is better length. And Carlos Brown playing it out towards that straightish mid wicket, but can't score. 128 for 1 as Harrison again. And again off the back foot, worked it square on the onside. Takes up for a single. Carlos Brown goes up to 26 with that. And Lewis on 85. At the rate that he's playing, you could say 4 balls away from 100. Here's Harrison. That one was a little bit fuller. And though there was width, didn't force Lewis into a stroke. Harrison again. And that's the slug sweep that will go over the mid-wicket boundary. That was muscled away towards the Kingston club stand end. All you can say is, wow, look at the power on Lewis. He slug swept that. It really didn't wind up. It didn't look as if he was massively heaving at it. But he's a very powerfully built man. He made that look absolutely easy. He's on the charge again, cuts out towards backward point. And they take a single. That's all they'll get. 129 for 1. Lewis is on 91. And Carlos Brown is on 26. 136 for 1 from 20 overs. 9 runs from that last over. And the Kingston team really unable to contain the rampage that's going on. So Akeem Fraser now. It's still Harty. For a minute I thought there'd be a change, but it's Patrick Harty who will continue. And will Lewis get to his 100 in this over at the rate he's going? You'd be a brave man to bet against it. Has to be careful. There's a long on all the way back, a little bit square. There's mid-wicket all the way back. There's a man going all the way back to the extra cover fence. There's a man deep on the fence at point. So they are scattered to all parts. So Lewis will have to be very careful when he launches in the deep. And they are being very, very precise with the field placing. A man running all the way back to the backward square fence as well. So 3 people out on the leg side and 3 people out on the offside. They're just scattered to all parts as Harty from over the wicket. And Lewis is forward and gets a single. This could be tight. It didn't hit. May have just taken out Patrick Harty in the process. He's gone down for the count. And Patrick Harty has gone down.
Somebody check Mara.
And Romain Morris is also injured away from your screen. That's it. Morris ran for it from behind, had a throw that hit Patrick Harty in the knee, but Morris himself, the wicket-keeper who darted from behind the stumps, he's also injured. It's all happening. Harty is very slow to get up, and Morris himself is not getting up. How often do you see 2 people getting injured from from one delivery. So you're going to be missing the action for a little while as Patrick Harty and Romain Morris are both under the hammer. As Lewis continues. Looks like all will be well. That ends well. And while both fieldsmen trying to recuperate, seems as if they'll be okay. Harty is up and ready, and Morris is also ready to take his place behind the stump. So it's 137 for 1. And after this over, Sean Grant will take you through for the next half an hour. Having had, from what I'm hearing from good sources, 2 lunches. Sean says it's not true. It was closer to 3. So Carlos Brown now will